So day 2 is over, and again, I only saw one movie. That movie was In the Earth by writer-director Ben Wheatley. Ben Wheatley is a director I was aware of going into this festival, and the only one, really, that I was aware of at all going into the festival. So, knowing him, I had some expectations for it, and really, it's the only movie at this festival I had any expectations for. And it let me down. Big time. I mean, Ben Wheatley isn't a director I can say is particularly consistent. He's made some movies I like. Free Fire is one of them. And he's made some movies most recently that I haven't liked, like Rebecca, Netflix's movie. And this is falling into that kind of Rebecca lane, which is a movie that annoyed me more than it should have. This is a movie that, as the longer it went on, I got more and more annoyed with it. It starts fine. It starts very generic. Most of this movie is very generic.
You know, as you get older, you understand it because your body is nature in itself, you know, and when you're younger, you're very optimistic about it. As you get older, you're less optimistic.
Movie sets up this big plot about this forest that they're going to, and how people are being drawn into the forest or something to that effect, and the forest has a brain and some scientific mumbo jumbo about that. So 2 people are going into the forest to deliver equipment to a little scientific base studying something in the forest. And they go in and they get attacked by some hobo living in the woods. And that's how the movie gets the ball rolling. And the stuff with the hobo in the woods, his name is Zach in the movie, I actually liked. It kind of feels like a Midsommar thing, very culty, very ritual heavy. And I like that stuff. It actually has kind of a dark comedic tone to it. That was pretty fun. It works pretty well. Again, the characters aren't anything that special. They're pretty generic. They're pretty cut and paste. But watching him perform kind of these body horror moments and bring some levity to them was pretty entertaining. And there's some genuinely horrific things you see. And I was appreciative of that, especially because the first 20 minutes or so before that is incredibly dry. It is literally just people wandering around in the woods, barely talking, and cut together in a really flimsy and kind of clunky way, which we can talk about a little bit more. But then after the Zach stuff, then they escape and they meet up with somebody else in the woods. And that's when the movie completely derailed for me. I don't want to spoil too much, although this is a movie with distribution that's going to come out from a known and established director, so I don't feel that bad spoiling some of this. Mainly what it turns into is
fate. Oh, you were meant to be here. There's a reason that you're here. There's something gonna happen.
And what happens is a big hallucinative tripping, and then the movie is over. It's like nothing. The movie builds to this climactic ending. Something's gonna happen, and then nothing happens. It's just a series of strobing visuals, and the movie is over.
The society kind of makes us kind of think about ourselves as individuals, but we are also kind of examples of nature in itself, you know. That's the way I look at it anyway.
It is so unengaging, and even when it is good, it's good in such short spurts that it's barely worth watching for those short spurts of things happening. And mainly the stuff that works is relegated to a 20 to 30 minute window of time in the middle of the movie that even that is inconsistent in. But speaking of inconsistencies, one of the biggest inconsistencies of this movie is the technical stuff, which is just completely shocking to me. Some of it just is borderline incompetent. It's the most bizarre thing. I mean, the editing, for one, is like a train wreck. There are times when it just cuts to black for 2 seconds and then fades up on the exact same scene that was just happening. But not only that, there are some parts of this that are cut so quickly, it is borderline impossible to understand what's going on, especially near the end. There are parts when there's some action happening and it is cut so quickly, I was literally like, I don't know what just happened. And then it will cut to something else and you go, oh, okay, wait, how are they here? Who's this? What's going on? It's just poorly edited from the get-go, really. And I don't know if that's to do with the fact that this was written, conceived, produced, and made in quarantine. So maybe they were Zoom calling, editing this. But even then, like, most movies recently, or at least some that are coming out now, were made in quarantine. Censor was a quarantine movie, and it's like infinitely better in the editing department. But not only is the editing inconsistent, the filmmaking, the camera work is inconsistent as well. And they have some really nice cameras on this and really nice lenses, but then for no good reason, it will cut to iPhone footage. Why? You got nice cameras. Did you just miss shots and have to run into the woods with your phone and hurry and take a couple shots to fill in the rest? It's baffling.
Within the film, there's the ideas of like how myth has started and how you have a set of beliefs or set of experiences and facts, and then you rearrange them into another meaning is a thing, you know. And
But I think I've talked enough about the things I don't like. I mean, it's pretty clear I don't like this movie, but there are some things I do like about it. Not enough to say that it's really worth seeing, to be real. But there are some things that are good in this. I mean, I talked about the character Zach in this. He's great, he's really funny, and legitimately kind of intimidating. I liked the Joel, the main character. I think his performance is pretty solid. I like some of the body horror stuff. It's kind of gruesome and well executed. I think that works pretty well. And that's it. It's just a frustrating movie, really. There's just not a lot to say about it, which is probably the most frustrating part. There's just some baffling decisions made. There's pretty generic character work, and it leads up to a conclusion that feels like it just is nothing. It feels like it blue-balled you for the whole runtime and then just ends. And even the stuff that works is minimal, to the point of it just being not worth seeing, really. I mean, the few moments of body horror, the couple of good performances, and the mildly interesting plot up until the end, because it's sort of shrouded in secrecy, is just not enough. It's just not enough. I'll probably give this a 4. I'm even leaning towards a 3 talking about it now. I really just did not like this. The whole time I was watching, I was trying to think of things that were legitimately impressive about it to talk about, and there just isn't that many. There just isn't. And that's not to say that there's also more things that are legitimately terrible about it, but it's just more baffling. I just don't understand it. It's...